Morning, everyone. So we're going to get started. Today, we're going to be learning a little bit more about the table function in Excel and how that can be used to get some more useful information out of the data you enter it and make your data that you enter into it a little bit more organized and more efficient to use. So I'm going to be sharing my screen and going over a test file that I have here. Generally, this is going to be very useful for kind of tabulating data, understanding how Excel works a little bit more, and then getting some useful information to help you better prepare, reports, information to be used. So to begin, the first thing we need to understand is that in Excel and table of data, there's a clear structure to how the table should be set up. In Excel, you would have the table set up as each individual row is an individual case. You can kind of think of this as an individual item, say a person, a panel, just one individual case. So each individual row should be an individual case item. Your headers up here and your columns should always be a variable of that case. So for instance, over here, we have a case of Robert Young. The variables that I have listed are his age, his weight, and this can go on for any type of variable you want, such as hair color, and so on and so forth. The blue cells here are the value of that variable for that case, right? So for Robert Young, the variable or the value for this variable, age 24, Steve Rogers 105, weight 190, 210. So this is how Excel uses information and how you need to set up your data to use the table function. A lot of times when I get information from the field or when I actually get information to use, I get a lot of bad data. And it's not that the data or the text is incorrect, it's just how it's formatted and Excel doesn't know what to do with it. So for instance, this is one of the ways that I got information from the field. As you can see, there's a bunch of panels, some circuits, the zone that it's going to be in. And you can see that when I click into one cell, all the data is held within one cell itself. It's not broken out into individual cells. So when Excel gets this, it doesn't understand that you're breaking this up by commas. It just sees this as one little text string, so one sentence to it. How you should be organized your data is every individual value, if it would be separated by a comma, should go in its own individual cell in each column. So in the good data tab here, you can see all that information has been organized into individual columns and each individual row for each item here. There is a tool that you can use that can actually take your information and text a column. I would look into this if your data kind of looks like this, and text a column can allow you to break this out, but that's going to be a little bit advanced for this session. So going back into the good data tab here. So we have all our information. This one is broken out by panels, what circuits each panel has, what zone. This is actually for a conduit pull schedule that the field sent me. And they were just looking to get some more information, how to make this a little bit easier to tell which circuits have been pulled and which circuits have been ordered, as well as creating a schedule for them to buy more wire if they need to. So as you can see, all our data is broken out as needed to columns and rows. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to select all our data. There's two ways you can do it, is just drag all the way down and select all the data. Or if you're at the top here and you hold Control, Shift, and then press the down arrow key on your keyboard, it'll select the very bottom range of the data. And if you hold Control Shift again and then hit the right arrow key, it will go over and select all the text data into one chunk here, so you don't have to scroll through your entire list. What we're going to do now is turn this into a table, right? The table is an actual feature and function of Excel. You need to format your data into it. On your Home tab here, you'll see this little tool called Format as Table. You click on it. This is just giving you a different format and visual style of the tables. They all function the same way. It's really whatever visually you want to see. Generally, I usually choose one of these guys down here, black and white or blue, and this breaks it into a table. Where is the data for your table? If you've already selected your columns and rows, it's already going to automatically populate. And the last one is my table has headers. That's what these value headers over here are, panel, circuit, zone. If you turn this on, it means it's going to use this as your headers. If you turn this off, it's automatically going to create headers for you. So I'm going to do that right now. As you can see, it actually made us headers themselves and call it just column 1, column 2, column 3. If you already have your headers up there, you can just leave it. My table has headers, and it'll make those the headers of the columns. Any questions so far? Good. All right. So a couple of features that you can do with the table. When you click into any cell in the table, up top, you're going to have a little button up here called Table Design. This is where you can kind of manipulate the table. You can change how it looks if you want. You can add some different features to it with the table style. And you can also do a couple of different ways of looking at the data. Additionally, you see these little drop-down arrows here. This allows you to sort the data in any individual column while keeping the text and the case together. So if I wanted to sort this all by zone, I'd be able to click this little drop-down arrow here and then sort A to Z, sort Z to A. I can sort by color if these were color-coded. I can also do a text filter and filter out individual items, such as if I want to see just what lengths are 90, I can see anything that's just 90. If you need to reset your filters, you can go over into filter here and hit clear. You can clear the filter from the number filters over here. Additionally, if you don't want to see any of these drop-down menus in your table design here, you can turn off the filter buttons. There's just a quick way of filtering the data. However, I don't typically use these filters. Reason why is you have to go in and you have to manually change them for every single item. And it's a little bit tedious. What I do instead is I put in what is called a slicer here. And a slicer is actually going to pull in any of your headers that you have on the table. It allows you to kind of quickly look at the data on what you're looking for. So for panel, I'm going to click panel. And what it does is it gives me all the individual values or unique values of this table in this little table here. And if I click on one of them, all it's going to do is automatically sort the table for you and only show you that item that you've clicked on, which is much quicker than the filter tab, and it's doing the exact same thing for you. It's just a much more agile type of way of filtering. Additionally, you can multi-check different items if you want. By holding Control, I can select multiple different items to see in the table here. You can also add as many sliders as you would like into this table. So if I want to actually see what panels they are, as well if I've ordered, I can now turn on no, and you can see that these are all the panels I've selected with orders that have not been, or wires that have not been pulled or ordered yet. Any questions so far on the slicers or filtering? All right, cool. So going back to the table, at the very bottom, what we can do is we can add in a total row. So if you click back on any cell in the table and then click on the table design tab and hit the total row is going to tally up pretty much a value from the entire column that you're looking at. So for instance, this first one up here is for circuit number, and this is length. I want to see how much length in total we have for all our wires. This is going to give you a couple more functions or basic functions that you probably be looking for, as in the count, the average, the max, the minimum. I want to know what the average length of all my wire order is. So it looks like my wire pulls are about 62 feet in total. I can also do a count of how many I have. So right now this is counting how many individual instances I have. So it looks like I have 143 different pulls I need to do. And then if you get a little bit more into functionality and functions, you can write a function to count if this is yes, if it's no. That's a little bit more advanced, but if you like to understand how to write formulas, please let me know. I'd be gladly sit down and write some formulas with you or show you how it works. And again, this total row actually counts based on what you're filtering to. So if I'm going to do the count here of 143, you can't do that for most of the numbers, but I can do that for some numbers here. I go back up here to my slicer. I only want to see what's in panel 2RG2-1. This is actually going to filter out all those other panels and give you the total just for that panel there. So this total row will only calculate what is shown in the table at that point. If I turn on this to no, it's going to count and reorganize itself to that. So you'll be able to filter out and turn off if you've ordered items. If you change this to yes, it's not going to automatically reset itself. It's pretty static for that one instance, but if you hit no again, it should remove any of the items that you have moved or altered. Additionally, in your data tab here, if you hit refresh all, this refreshes all your views for the data. So if I've changed this from ordered from no to yes, and I hit data refresh, it's not going to change the visual because this is what the filter is doing, but it will change other tables that you have that match or pull in the information from here. Any questions on that? Does everyone understand the table feature so far?
Yes.
Okay. So that was the basics of the table feature, how to organize data, how to sort it a little easier. What the next step in doing with this data now that it's organized is creating general reports. From that, what we can do is create what is called a pivot table. And pivot tables are a very powerful reporting feature. I'm going to go a lot more in depth into what pivot tables are in another training, but I'm just going to show them here so you can kind of understand where this table format and data can go into. Generally, what a pivot table is it just takes your table data and allows you to organize or change it in a way to give you better reporting features of it. So as you can see over here on the panel, you'll see all the headers that we had in the table itself, panel circuit zone. And I want to generate a small little report of all the wire that has been pulled, or sorry, that has not been ordered yet, that is in each individual color so I can order more wire for myself. All right, so I'm going to go into phase color wire or wire type. As you can see, it breaks down all my individual values here of what wire type it is here. And I can also then break it down by phase color. As you can see, it is now matched any individual item that is 10-2, that's red, black, blue, red for 12-2, 6-2 for red. And I can go over and do length and values. And what this is doing right now is actually giving me the amount of red 10-2 I need throughout the entire table, as well as the 12-2, 6-2, whatever it is. And the best part is that since this is pulled from a pivot table, or sorry, from a table itself, you're able to insert slicers just like you would on a regular table. And you're able to kind of look at the data just by individual panels. So if I click on 2RG2, it's only gave me the values that are based out of 2GR2 and the 12-2 black. Additionally, I can do this if I want to see just for color lengths for, let's say, just different zones. I only want to see what's in zone A. So in zone A, I'm only pulling 1 or 90 feet of red 12-2. And can also do how many counts they are. So I'm going to do ordered. And it'll give me how many counts I have of each one of those. So pivot tables are an amazing way to look at the data in a much more streamlined fashion and get better reports out of it. We'll go a lot deeper into how to create pivot tables in the next training, but I just wanted to kind of show you what the data allows you to do if you format in a table setting. Any specific questions or any ideas that you have from the field or what you're doing now that I can take a crack at and help you with?
Corey, I'm building my own,
Yep.
trying just for my scheduling and like all the projects that we have in engineering, Jim.
Mhm.
So I
Yep.
don't know, I guess like you could help modify the one I have, by saying like, I like the column for like need to schedule and things that are scheduled and things I need to follow up. And then
Yep.
I guess we could slice it up that way, and it makes it easier than me trying to read 40 lines every day. And I'm trying to color code them. So that's why I thought it was, pretty crucial for me to pop in on this.
Yeah, so what you could do, George, is that you can actually have that table itself that has all your master data, right? Generally, what this allows you to do is create a master list of all your data, and then you use secondary tables or pivot tables to look at that data without altering the master data table here. So you could create a pivot table that would allow you to view exactly what jobs need to be scheduled. And this could be generated and printed out as a report because I could just create this as like a report page. And I can set this as a print area and print just this little table here. So you'll be able to kind of generate your own little report out of this Excel document and then be able to kind of slice it. So let's just say this needs to be scheduled here. Here's all the scheduled items or needs to be scheduled items you have.
Understood. Oh, I didn't know we were able to print from that. That's great. I transpose everything from Manpower to
Oh
this
yeah,
for my
yeah.
needs.
In the page layout tab, you can set up your own print section. So for instance, I have, I'm just going to go into schedules. So over here, I have a page layout for my school schedule. I put in break lines and some background information. And when you hit print here, it automatically puts our headers up here. It pulls some information from the tab and then puts in some pre-coded information on the bottom.
So
So I can show you that as well if you want.
definitely appreciate it.
Anyone else have any questions? All right. Well, please reach out to me if you have any problems with Excel or want to learn a little bit more about this. And hopefully I'll see you at the pivot table training. Thanks for joining, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank
Thank
you.
Corey.